Hello and welcome to another episode of Unboxing Women, where we explore why women in business are often called such a bitch. My name is Rexx, and with me is my friend Maika Rose, and we are both independent recording artists and singer-songwriters based in Europe, and this time in the same room. What? You can listen to us on our YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast platform. So today we are going to discuss the Moxie movie that's on Netflix. Yeah, we watched it yesterday, and it's about feminism. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen it before, so this was my second time watching it. I think it's good. I think it has like some bits that are a little bit weird, but then again, they were probably made to be that way for a reason. So for anybody who doesn't know what the Moxie movie is, it's basically about a girl, she's 16 was it?
Yeah, 16.
And she's in high school and she's like writing a college application and finds out she doesn't actually care about anything. And then she asks her mum and she's like, riot, rebel girl, whatever. So she starts fighting against the patriarchy and makes a zine, basically against sexism because she sees it happening in her school. And basically there are parts in it where it goes over the top. Like there are parts in it like that teacher who doesn't kind of who's very obviously in the beginning like doesn't know what to do, doesn't kind of know how to react, is kind of doing all the things that you shouldn't be doing.
Well, I think it's actually very accurate because you see a lot of people not really knowing what to do with things that might be a little extreme. Like some people think that feminism is extreme, so they want to like be politically correct, and they think you're right, but that's not the way things are. So should we change things? They're not sure. They don't know what to do, and they're kind of stuck within themselves. So I think that one teacher that was portrayed as being trying to be politically correct at the start, and then eventually kind of warms up to it and actually sees the light. Sorry, spoiler alert. we're gonna put this in the title.
We'll put this in the title.
So that there are people out there who want to stay politically correct, but you can't do that because then you're for everything and against everything. It's just you need to pick a side, and you need to pick what you believe in. I mean, that's true.
I think with the teacher there was a specific thing as well, because as a teacher you have to follow like school rules and you can't be seen to actually be bullying anyone. So they were like calling out the boys in the school who were sexist. So I think he also had that conflict, kind of being like, I can't really be favoring somebody above somebody else.
The teacher role, you have to stay, like
neutral,
neutral, and you have to try and simmer down any kind of conflict in your classroom.
Yeah,
that also is, also something that obviously.
It's like the first time I watched it, I was like really weirded out by that teacher, because teachers I can't say as a blanket statement, but teachers in Germany are probably a little bit different than teachers in America. Like I don't think they would. They say their mind quite clearly. If they have an opinion, they just state it, and they're just like, they don't give a shit.
In Belgium they would too.
Yeah,
they would too. Obviously, they would say, the school rules and this and that, but you wouldn't work in a school where you're not down with the rules.
Yeah, and where you're not allowed to voice your opinions.
Also.
Yeah, exactly. So that for me, the first time I watched it was a little bit weird. The second time it made a little bit more sense, because you kind of think about it in the terms of, okay, so he does actually have a load of things going on. And also, I think you think about it more in the type of, this was written this way purposefully to make a point, to kind of show that this is what happens. Yeah, that this is actually what happens in a load of schools, that they just in general, not just in schools, that people do have this anti or not knowing how to react and kind of being put on the spot, like it was when they film him and stuff. So, if you put people on the spot, they don't react very well, and it's kind of making a point, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, I also liked obviously they put a lot of obvious feminist things in there. I mean, with feminist things, I mean oppressive and harassment things. So, for example, spoiler alert again.
I think we can skip the spoiler alerts
yes,
by now.
I think
The
so.
whole
yeah.
thing is a big spoiler.
So there's this the head jock is obviously harassing girls and just bullying them in general. So there's that, and then there's the slap on the butt, which that's what
I didn't even see that in the first time I watched it.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah, because it was so quick. That's
it's very
the thing.
quick. Yeah, they do it quick, and then they run off, and then your dilemma is, I've had this a million times.
Yeah.
So I saw
Yeah.
it happen on the screen. Like, what do? Do you act like an idiot yourself and start running after this person,
Or shouting after them.
or shouting after them? What? It's like a dog after a car. What do you do when you catch the guy? You're just going to tell him off, basically. 'cause
Yeah,
you're not,
exactly.
What are you,
You
going to do?
can't call the police. You can't do anything. Like, it's like
So they've
nobody's
done
going
it.
to do anything for a slap on the butt.
Yeah, so they've done it. They've run off, and then, well, yeah, you're just standing there like an idiot,
Yeah.
and they've taken advantage of you. They've taken advantage of you sexually,
Yeah.
and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And that was one of the ones that really, that I'm like, oh yeah, that happens to women so much, and we kind of look over it. There was a lot of stuff that happens in the movie, and then like the headmaster as well.
Headmistress.
Headmistress.
Yeah.
Yes. Looks over it and like, oh yeah, but this is not harassment. This is just, he's just being, boys will be boys.
Yeah. And also the kind of, but if this is harassment, I have to file a load of paperwork.
There's paperwork. So let's just not call this harassment now, shall we? So yeah, and there is a lot of that. I mean, in Moxie, it was over the top to make the point that this is actually happening, and it is. I found that really interesting, that it mirrored just everyday stuff that women go through really well. Like how do you stop men from slapping your butt and like running off, or even in a club, like they slap your butt like from the side as if it's their friend who's actually in the place that would be,
Yeah.
Everybody knows, I can't explain it, but everybody knows, everybody watching and listening knows exactly what I'm talking about when I say, the guy that slaps your butt from, he's not in the right place, because then his friend can take the blame, that guy. So, yeah, it made me realize that we go through a lot of stuff daily that we just suppress because the world wants us to.
Yeah, you were
expects us
saying like
to.
there was a thing in where she was like, oh, if you just keep your head down, he'll ignore you and move on to someone else.
Yeah,
And
that
the
was
other
a good
girl
one.
was like, I'm gonna keep my head up high.
Yeah.
Why?
And I'm not
why
gonna
is
take
he
it.
even? Yeah, and why is he even? Why are we accepting that he is harassing us?
Yeah, I like that, because
Yeah.
I realized that I was the other girl. At one point, I was. Yeah, saying, okay, let's just, if you ignore them, they'll ignore you back after a while and it'll go away.
Yeah, which, funnily enough, actually does work.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it doesn't go away in the sense that he keeps doing it, but just to another person.
Yeah, exactly. That's
and
true.
that's not okay, people.
No, it's not the solution. The solution. It's not the solution,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, that's just moving the problem to another person.
Yeah, the thing is, the guy needs to stop acting that way.
Exactly. And that starts with actually raising your kids right. Not saying parents don't raise their kids right, because I'm sure it's a very hard thing. I don't have any kids. But it is kind of how society in general as well, because society raises your kids as well. It's not just you. But why do men do this? It's because they think women are objects a lot of the time, and how would they get
this
that idea?
They do get a lot of this from home, and by proxy, for everybody who knows, who maybe doesn't know, by proxy, I have 2 kids because my boyfriend has 2 children from his previous marriage. And so I have been raising kids for a while now. They're just going into their puberty right now. So I've had the pleasure
Fun.
of having them, knowing them very young as well. And it is a constant thing that you need to be on the lookout for.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a girl and a boy. So I have both worlds that I can compare. And it's true that, the boy sometimes, he kind of runs off with his pals who are kind of bullies. He isn't. He's really sweet. But sometimes you see the influence of other boys.
Though, isn't it, though? Like, that's the way we say, oh, like, I don't harass people. But then you might know people who do, and you don't call them out on it. So that's
but he's 11, so he's not going to call out.
not. Yes, but it is kind of the tiny form of it, actually.
Also,
yeah.
So that's kind of the next step. So for us, it's first, don't copy your friends, be yourself, because we're trying to make you into this kind of person who is for equality and like your dad, basically. Because my boyfriend is a feminist. So we would love that the kid goes in the same direction, and so that's the first hurdle, is having them, trying for them to not copy their friends so much who might be a little bit more, bullies or stuff like that. And then the next step is obviously, the first step is just, ingraining the norms in the kid itself. And that's fine. But then, they do get influenced by others. So that's second step. And then the third step is, when they get a little older, make sure that they are treating women and other minorities, by the way, the same, and that they understand. And, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of actually talking to them like adults and not treating them like children.
And also listening.
Yes, also listening as well. So, I'm sure we're going to get there with these kids. If they're watching this in the future, they'll be, oh my God, they're talking about us. So I'm sure they're going to be great, because they
very right if they're going to listen to this podcast in the future.
They're great, and they will turn out great, and we'll make sure of that. But it is a constant struggle. You can't take it for granted, and you can't just say, oh, but I'm like this, so they will. No, there's so many influences and so many things that happen to them that's not happening to you.
Yeah, and that you don't maybe know about.
And it does absolutely start at home, but also in school and everywhere.
Exactly. So it's like the entirety of society needs to actually kind of start living this and not just saying it.
Good point.
Right?
The entirety of society. Yeah. I like that, Maika. We're going to quote you on that. No, it's true.
Yeah, it is true. But like, if you take it back to Moxie, there was also this one bit, right, where they do a load of crazy things, cool crazy things. They do like, they go against the dress code, which I don't understand dress code. I was never dress coded ever, because in Germany we don't have dress code, right? And I just remember once, because I went to school in Italy, and obviously they're very Catholic. And all of my friends always, even if it was the heat of summer, they went with long jeans and a shirt that covered everything, the girls. The boys could wear shorts, right?
That's so unfair.
Mm-hmm, yeah. I didn't know this, so I came in hot pants and a tank top.
Hot pants and a tank top?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
and
Maika.
I know. However.
Hilarious.
Right, my teacher did comment on this. My chemistry teacher was like, and it was a very like low-cut tank top as well, because I was weird at that point, and I just kind of, that was just kind of
it's
what
a
it
phase.
was.
It's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, so my chemistry teacher commented on it, and she was like, "Are you sure this is appropriate for school?" And I was like, yeah, because I didn't understand why it wouldn't be. And she was like, okay. And like some of my friends commented on it as well, and they were like, oh my God, you really shouldn't be wearing that to school. And I was like, why? It's fucking hot.
I love it.
But I didn't get sent home because I was the exchange student and I was allowed to do anything I wanted, basically.
So yeah, you got a
I got
pass.
the culture bonus. Yeah.
You got the culture
bonus.
I actually did get commented on in school, and I did have to go to the headmaster, and I had to kind of change. Not a lot, but well, I'm tall. but I'm also not super thin. So I have wide shoulders and I have big boobs. And I have had big boobs very early on, I had, So I got boobs very early on, which, it was kind of annoying, but, it's your
That's
body.
usually how it happens. If
That's
you're going to
how it
get big boobs, you're going to get big boobs early.
Early.
Yeah. Or when you're pregnant. Yeah.
Yes, well, I haven't done that.
See, there you go.
So I must have been 12 going on 13 in my first year of high school.
Wow,
So
that's very early, yeah.
Yeah, and then so I was fully formed by then. And I was it was the 90s, people. So I was wearing crop tops. So I had like a high-rise jeans, like the Pippa jeans.
Yeah, but if you're wearing a crop top and high-rise jeans, nothing's showing.
Well, a little bit.
Yeah,
it was like a
little sliver.
Midriff thing. But yeah, I got told off after a couple of, it was months. So after a couple of months, they did come and tell me off that I was wearing crop tops. And so I got, pulled aside and said, okay, look, headmaster, and like this conversation about, we don't really like this and that, but it wasn't written anywhere that I wasn't allowed to. But I don't remember if I was the only one wearing it. I must have been, because otherwise, I don't know. I don't remember.
No,
this is
because
a
lot
ago.
of the time it is actually just because you have boobs.
It might have been.
Yeah.
Because I do remember other people wearing the same, but not a lot of them. So maybe they took all of them, and
maybe you never
told
know.
them something. But yeah, maybe I was one of 5 girls that was dressed that way in the whole school. So it wasn't a lot. And yes, I was a rebel, obviously. But so that's what I wasn't allowed to wear anymore. Crop tops. Yeah, the crop tops to here. I had like a really cool one with like hands on my boobs and then saying "Don't touch" underneath.
Yes, I can see how they would not like that.
And yes,
it's
true that with that T-shirt, actually, now that I think of it, the boys see the hands on the boobs. They do read "Don't touch," but they always want to put their hands on the handprints.
Of course
on
they
the boobs.
do, because they're like, that's an invitation.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It literally says "Do not touch." Oh my fucking god!
That was a fun T-shirt. So I did need to look out when I was wearing that. I needed to, be aware that who was coming into my space so that they wouldn't go like, bah. It's crazy, right?
It's stupid. It's so stupid. Like, why do we constantly have to be like aware that men don't touch us? I don't go around grabbing men.
No, I don't.
Like, why? Why would you go around? Like, if I went around grabbing men's asses, they'd be absolutely disgusted. They'd be like, why are you grabbing my ass?
Yes,
that's the crazy
like,
lady that always grabs ass. Yeah, they'd be like, oh, that's the stupid crazy lady that always grabs people's asses.
Yeah, they all do it. I
Yeah,
mean, not all. Okay, don't start. Not all, but a lot.
Yes. And it's more like the kind of... I don't know, it's weird. I also don't go up to a man and go like, I mean, I don't do this with women either, but I don't just put my hand on your leg. So this even, I mean, I know Dana quite well, but even that is a little bit weird. Yeah. So like, why would you do that?
I don't know. Tell us why.
Yeah, tell
comments.
us why. If you know why, or
why are men always touching us?
Right? What's the
Without
fixation?
Asking.
Yeah. But also, like, if you go back to the movie, right? Because there was that one scene with a dinner with the parents. Well, the mother and the boyfriend and the other boyfriend.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 boyfriends. There's the teenage boyfriend, and then the mother is actually alone, but all of a sudden she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And that's a problem for the daughter.
Yeah.
She kind of gets pissed off. I can relate to that a bit, but she had issues.
Yeah.
She had stuff going on, and she just didn't understand.
Yeah, she just kind of took it out on him without getting to know him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a teenage thing. So this is, again, one of the things where the movie, I think, displays something that is very lifelike and accurate, Also, what really hit me the first time I watched the movie as well was at the end of that rant after, because she attacks like her mum's boyfriend for having an American flag in his car, which is like, oh, do you think America's the greatest country in the world? And what about the patriarchy? Like, blah, blah, blah. And the boyfriend is like, I don't love that part about it. Because obviously, you can have an American flag as an American in your car or on your
it was on the bumper, I think.
Yeah, whatever. You can be proud of your country without also being sexist. So she was kind of attacking people because she was annoyed that nothing was happening. She was kind of thinking everybody was the problem, which we all know is not the case. But it kind of it portrayed the side that a lot of times other people think about when thinking about feminism. Like a lot of people who come to feminism for the first time not really knowing what it is, they think it's people attacking people for everything they stand for.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, so that you think that meant that.
I think that was that as well.
Yeah, probably.
Like showing that.
Good one. Yeah. I didn't see it that way. I was a bit annoyed because she was really... You know, I've been in that position as a teenager, being so annoyed with everything, and everything is a problem. So I could really relate to her just being mad. I have a stepdad, so you know, sometimes that does give friction when you're a teenager, obviously. So I related to that from like the parents thing with, you know, your mom is alone and all of a sudden she has a boyfriend. What's the boyfriend coming to do? You know, so that's kind of that. But that's a good point.
Yeah, because I think that's what if you come from it as an outsider, I think that's what it's supposed to kind of show.
Okay.
And then she goes into this rage and she also attacks her boyfriend, who's been nothing but supportive, by the way. So that's why I got there to that. And then at the end of her outburst, she talks to her mum, and then like out of the blue she's just like, and why isn't dad coming for Christmas anymore?
Yeah,
and that for me was that teenage thing where you just get upset about a load of things. I mean, you can still have that as an adult as well. If you get just upset and angry about something, at the end you just kind of work yourself up into a rage, and then everything you're upset about just kind of comes up, and then everything is like that. Just that. And I just thought that was so interesting to see that, because it's such an accurate description of how specifically also the teenage mind works. And
I think even the female mind, I think making all those because obviously it's the new boyfriend, so immediately you think of, well, the dad. Where's the dad?
Yeah,
or,
true.
You know, so that link is definitely there.
Yeah.
I liked I really loved the part where you have the jock, the head jock. So at one point in the movie, there's a prize to be won, and they nominate only one person, and it's the head jock. So there's not even any competition.
Yeah.
And then all the girls that are kind of in the Moxie Club already say, wait a minute. And what about the head of the other sports like thing, which is a girl? Why isn't she nominated for this as well? So everybody's like, oh, but if you
actually win games.
They actually win games. So I think it's the athletics. So yeah, the American football was the head jock, and then the athletics team was with the girl.
It was soccer
captain or soccer. Yes, and so. They both are nominated in the end, and all of a sudden, they have like the TV thing, and in the mornings, they have announcements, and the head cheerleader comes on and does announcements together with the guy who's in the mascot.
Yeah,
and. All of a sudden, the head jock goes on the TV in the announcements and gets his 15 minutes of fame kind of on the announcements, and is allowed to say that he's been being harassed and everything,
and being
and that
bullied,
the girls are all against him and stuff like that, while the girl obviously didn't get the chance to talk.
Exactly.
And that was very telling.
Yeah, and then they went to the headmistress about it and asked, why didn't we get to talk, or why did he get to talk? And she was like, it's because he asked.
Yeah.
And they were
like,
you
didn't ask. Well, we didn't know we had to.
And then she said, the headmistress says, if you want a seat at the table, pull up a chair.
And then I said, but she didn't even know there was a chair.
Exactly. Like, how are you supposed to, or there wasn't even a chair. Yeah. Like, how are you supposed to know you're allowed to do that or you can do that
if nobody
tells you, specifically in something that is a competition? Like, I understand the thing, like, oh, you can do, if you ask, you receive, you know, and I understand that sometimes it's just people get things because they asked and you didn't. But in this specific case, it is a competition.
It was.
And in a competition, when you do campaigning like that, you need to give the other person the equal amount of time, like they do in TV shows where they do the rallies,
like debates and stuff.
Exactly, like the debates. They should have made it a debate.
If he asked to go on the announcements, they could have said yes. Obviously, that's fine. But then they should have gone to her and say, "Look, he's going on the announcements. Yeah. Would you like to too?"
Exactly.
That would have been good.
Yeah.
So I think that was a great part of the movie that really showed that, you know, it's not just standing up for yourself and doing the thing. It's just, you know, some people might want to cheat.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. Life is not fair. That's basically what that meant. And in this case, obviously, because it's about feminism, the guy took the opportunity because, you know, he wasn't afraid to ask, or, you know, he was more assertive, or, you know, or he did know that, you know, or he knew the guy that was behind the camera or something like that. So I think that was very telling.
I think it's also very interesting what he said, because he actually was like, in the past few weeks, I have been harassed. I have been the center of a bullying campaign, a besmirching campaign to pull my name into the sand or whatever it is. Yeah, the dirt.
Well, he was the one harassing everybody before.
Exactly.
Oh
like
my
the
God.
status quo was him harassing people, and that was not worth, you know, a TV announcement. But no, as soon as it's the other way around, you know, he's the victim. Yeah. So it's just, that for me was insane. It's like, think about what you're doing. There were so many little moments in this movie where it was clear, like his, what's it again? When you have, you know, when the thing people keep talking about, when white people privilege, there you go.
Privilege.
Yeah, so his privilege was showing a lot. So there was that moment when they were talking about The Great Gatsby, and the girl was talking about something, and then he just interrupted her, and she was like, I wasn't finished talking, and he said something dismissive or something.
Yeah.
Like, that was really, really rude.
And yeah, she said, "You're not listening," and then he cut her off.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was that bit at the vending machine as well, where
that was disgusting.
Yeah,
the vending machine part is disgusting.
It's disgusting, but also before it gets disgusting, it's like, oh, why are you being so? Wow, what was the word? It was a specific word that really riled me.
What was the word? Yeah.
It's not difficult, but why are you being so like anti-me, basically?
Well, why are you being difficult? That was it.
Yeah, something like that. And then she was like...
But he was standing in front of the vending machine where she was just trying to get a soda.
Exactly.
So he puts himself in between.
Yeah.
And then she's difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, people, please watch this movie. It is, you know, it obviously
shows so many things.
It's overdone to make a point, but these things happen every day.
I do think actually that all of these situations have happened exactly the way they happen in the movie. They don't happen this way, this overdone way every day, but they do happen this way, and they happen even worse sometimes.
They do.
So it's more like, this doesn't happen to one person every day.
Oh no.
Right? But this happens to every woman throughout their lifetime. Like all the time.
If it's not the slap on the butt day, it's the being ignored day, or it's the you're being difficult or emotional day, or you're not good enough for this position day.
Yeah, or what are you wearing day.
I have a lot of what are you wearing days.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because you have big boobs day.
Yeah.
You're not
and then
allowed
big ass day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're not allowed to wear what you want day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, well,
I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
Yeah, my God. Yeah, there's so much more to talk about on this movie. We do actually really recommend watching it. It's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, go watch it. Otherwise, I'm just going to say that's all for today. Thank you for tuning into Unboxing Women. Be sure to connect with us on our socials, which you can find in the show notes. Send us a DM or let us know your personal experiences with the hashtag #suchabitch. Or if you watched the movie and something that happened in the movie has happened to you, send us your story. We would love to know and kind of do a little post about it, all anonymous if you want. Don't forget to support your favorite artists through merch or donations. And my name is Maika Rose. I've been chatting with Dana Rexx live in the same room. Tune in for another episode of Unboxing Women next week, and we'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.